The boy struggled with meditation due to constant disturbances and became easily angered by the noises around him. Frustrated, he asked his teacher to make others stay silent. But the teacher instead advised him to meditate by the river for a quieter environment. However, even at the river, he was disturbed by passing sounds and grew more frustrated. Seeking complete solitude, he moved to the middle of the river, where he finally found peace. This experience taught him that anger is often directed at others. But if he saw disturbances as natural occurrences, he could learn to control his emotions and avoid unnecessary frustration. One day, while meditating in the middle of the river, the boy was disturbed by a boat drifting toward him. Frustrated, he shouted at the boat, demanding the person inside to move away. However, when the boat hit his, he discovered it was empty. His anger disappeared instantly, as there was no one to blame. Later, he learned that the boat had drifted due to the wind. This realization made him question his reactions. If there was no one to blame, why get angry? He understood that controlling anger could prevent unnecessary conflicts and regrets in life. The boy realized that his anger only arose when he had someone to blame. When he thought the boat belonged to a person, he was furious. But once he discovered it had drifted naturally, his anger vanished. This made him reflect on how people often react with anger towards others, even when circumstances are beyond their control. He understood that if he could view situations as natural occurrences rather than personal attacks, he could avoid unnecessary frustration. From that day on, he decided to control his anger. Knowing that a single moment of patience could prevent a lifetime of regret, the boy realized that his anger was unnecessary when he had no one to blame. He understood that anger often arises when we assume someone is at fault. However, if we see situations as natural events rather than personal attacks, we can remain calm. He reflected on how people often lose control, hurting others and later regretting their actions. From that day on, he decided to manage his emotions, knowing that controlling anger for just a moment could prevent long-term sorrow. He learned that patience and understanding were the keys to living peacefully without unnecessary frustration or regret. The boy learned a valuable lesson about anger. He realized that when he thought someone was responsible for disturbing him, he became furious. However, when he found out that the boat was empty and had drifted due to the wind, his anger disappeared instantly. This made him reflect on how people often get angry at others without understanding the full situation. He decided that instead of reacting with frustration, he would approach situations with patience and understanding. From that day on, he practiced controlling his emotions. Knowing that a moment of restraint could prevent days of regret and sorrow, the boy realized that anger often arises from misunderstanding and misplaced blame. When he believed someone was responsible for disturbing his meditation, he felt furious. However, upon discovering that the boat was empty and had drifted naturally, his anger vanished. This insight taught him that in many situations, reacting with frustration only causes unnecessary suffering. He understood that if he could control his emotions and not let external events dictate his reactions, he would live a more peaceful life. From that day on, he practiced patience, reminding himself that a single moment of self-control could prevent days of regret and sorrow. The boy's experience with the empty boat taught him a valuable lesson about anger and self-control. Initially, he believed that disturbances during his meditation were caused by others, and he reacted with frustration. When he meditated by the river, he was annoyed by the sounds around him. Even when he moved to the middle of the river, he still became angry when a boat collided with his. However, upon discovering that the boat was empty and had drifted naturally due to the wind, his anger disappeared instantly. He realized that when we attribute our anger to another person, we react impulsively. But when we see that an event happened naturally, we remain calm. This understanding changed his perspective. Instead of blaming others for his frustration, he started questioning whether the situation truly required anger. He learned that controlling emotions, rather than reacting impulsively, leads to peace and clarity. From that day, He practiced patience and mindfulness. Recognizing that many conflicts arise not from reality but from our perception of it. He no longer allowed his emotions to be dictated by external events. This lesson helped him grow into a wiser and more composed person, capable of handling life's challenges with a calm mind.